Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I'd come on and do a video for you guys. Something brought to my attention, so I thought I'd sit down and do a short video for you guys for today. I'm feeling a little bit better. It's just my voice I've lost and my throat's been hurting, but other than that I am definitely coming around. I know I said I wasn't going to make any content whatsoever until I was better, but I'm feeling maybe 70% better. So today I want to talk about some important stuff. First, I did go to Starbucks. My baby gave me some money so I could get me a Starbucks. So now I'm sitting by the fountain and I'm going to do a serious chat with you guys for today. So this video is called Being Mindful of Others. And today I want to talk about how what you say and how you say things can affect the other person. Like if you sit and think about how what this person said or that person said, or if you say something that's very despiteful and hurtful, then you're not really taking the time out to think before you speak. You know, it's always important to think before you speak. You can't just be outspoken and think that what you said is not going to affect the other person when it really does. And when you're not mindful of what you say, on how you say it, then there is consequences to that. There are serious consequences to that. Like I said, when you say very hurtful things to people, it really does affect the other person, because it's showing them wow, why would you even say that? Why would you even bother to even open your mouth and say something that you know that is going to hurt the other person, but you're not thinking about how it's affecting the other person. So when you say things out the way, or just think that you're just going to say whatever and think that, oh, this doesn't apply to me, or consequences don't apply to me, or whatnot, it applies to everybody. It applies to me. It applies to parents, because parents can say the most outrageous stuff and don't care on how they speak to their kids or whatever, or their adult kid who's no longer a kid. So it's just like, how can I put it in the best perception where it's like, wow, everybody's out here saying whatever, and everybody's letting things slide nowadays. You can't let things slide if somebody says something to you about oh, well, you're this, or you're that, you're ugly, or calling somebody a bitch, or just being downright disrespectful, knowing that it's hurting the other person, but hurting the other person should not make you look even better. It does not make that other person feel better about themselves. But when you're out here degrading or saying things that, knowing, it's like, why bother? Why do people bother to say, or feel like they have to say something to get under people's skin? And then I look at it as like, well, damn, I should have thought about this before I even said this. Parents don't even do that. Parents do not bother to think before they speak to people. So, like I said, it's called being mindful and being respectable to others. And like I always say in my videos, if you don't want something done to you, don't do it to them. It's unnecessary to say unnecessary things and think that, oh, I'm gonna let this slide. I mean, I sometimes let things slide because, if somebody were to say something to me, I'm just gonna put this as a prime example. If somebody says something to me out the way, of course I'm gonna put them in their place. But if it's something small, I'll let it go. Let it go. Because there's no point in arguing about it, and there's no point in just trying to prove a point. I used to be that person back in the day where I used to be argumentative, um, doing all that back and forth shit. It's not good for your mental health. Being argumentative doesn't get anywhere in life. You know, when you argue with such and such, you're draining. Not only is it draining the other person, but you're draining yourself, because it's like, why am I doing this for? I'm draining myself for what? I'm draining myself for nothing. So, like I said, y'all, like, be careful on how you say things to people, because it really does hurt when you say things and thinking like, okay, this person said this. Should I let it slide, or should I say something about it? You know, sometimes when I used to be, when I, you know what, scratch that. We're not even going to go into full detail, because it's, you know, it's not that serious, you guys. But I'm taking the time out to let y'all know I respect people. I don't disrespect people unless I have to. If you gave me a reason to be disrespectful, or you know, if you feel like, you know, bashing people's names all over the internet, you know, people are gonna do what they want, but at the end of the day, you know who you are. You know your name. People don't know your story. People don't know what you've been through. People don't know what you're going through. So it's up to you whether if you want to tell those people like what you're going through. But half of the time, people do not care what you're going through, and that's sad that people do not care at all. So I'm a very kind, loving person until you cross me. As far as triggers wise, like, if you let somebody know what your triggers are, sometimes it's best not to let people know what your triggers are, because sometimes people will test you and you never know. People will easily try to test you to see where your triggers are and see what you're going to do about it. So, like I said, be mindful of what you say and how you say things to people, because it is very effective. Like I said, you just can't say whatever and expect not to get a reaction. But the best reaction is really none. But you only give a reaction if somebody's provoking you and being disrespectful, and that's the best way to go about it. So that's my video for you guys for today. I am gonna chill and enjoy my Starbucks, and I'm gonna rest up. This afternoon. Y'all be blessed, and please take consideration of what I said. Love you guys.